What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am proud to bring you WWE2K26. And although I have some grievances with the game in 2K this year, I am excited to bring you this game. We're going to be starting off today in my GM mode, but we will be coming back to play some of the other ones like My Rise, especially the showcase featuring CM Punk. But today is all about my GM ChatGPT War Room Edition. Now, I told you we're going to do this differently. We're going to use ChatGPT. I was going to show you the right way to do this. So let me click over to my ChatGPT screen and we'll get right with how this actually works out if you do this correctly. All right, so what you see here is the prompt which I've given ChatGPT long before we started here today. I typed this up before the game dropped to me. It didn't get to me until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. What I want to show you is if you do this properly, the information that ChatGPT will spit out to you. And then in later episodes, I made this all have this typed out and read it to you so you don't have to sit here, because as we go through matches and stuff, I will have to be conferring with ChatGPT, letting them know certain things so that it gives me the output that I want. But we'll decide that later. Let me go through some of what I wrote ChatGPT, and this is also going to prove to you that ChatGPT in fact does remember conversations you've had with it before on that topic. Remember, I told you that I did use ChatGPT and tested this out in 2K25 at the end. So here we are. Let me read you what I wrote. I won't read everything because some of the things is long, but I want you to get that context of what you have to put in here to get out what you want. I said WWE 2K26 is here. We are moving to this and leaving behind WWE 2K25. Yes, I made a typo and put an at there. I made several typos here, I think, but ChatGPT can figure that out. So let me remind you of some things new in WWE 2K26 before we move on to the draft. So for those of you guys who know the new stuff, here you go. There's a new larger budget of $7 million. If you guys didn't know this, the old game in 2K25 and before started with the budget of only $4 million tops. We will be starting with this budget. Superstars cannot be sorted by ring level. And I meant to say superstars can be sorted by ring level, which would be important this year. There are new match types, and here they are. So I listed all the match types that are new for ChatGPT. I said there are also new PLEs. Here's a list of all PLEs this season. I'll just tell you the ones that are new. So Classic Parish, Crown Jewel, Battleground, Evolution, Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc, Night of Champions, No Mercy, Worlds Collide, Survivor Series War Games, and Elimination Chamber are all new this year. So your favorite thing is here, as I spent all of 2K25 telling you we could not do this, but now we can. Intergender matches. Now we have to be strategic on how we use them, as there is a cost to use them, and it is not cheap. Also keep in mind that an intergender match can also spark a rivalry. There are custom championships this year, so I'll be able to change up the title. The other thing I had to tell you we could not do is double booking. Now we can. So we can now book a person to cut a promo and wrestle the same night. We must keep in mind that there is a stamina cost to this. And if we book a promo after a match and the superstar is injured, the promo will be canceled. We can now trade power cards. When it is trade time, we can attempt to trade a power card with our opponent. Even if we decide there is nothing we want, it is a good way to spy and see what power cards our opponent has. We can also turn off the power card store this year. If it is turned off, the only way to get power cards would be to earn them from the commish or winning matches. There is a new promo this year called Invasion Promos. We can have someone cut a promo to steal fans from our opponents. We only want to put a person that has 5 mic skill here for maximum impact. If the promo is good, we get fans. If it is bad, we lose fans. This year, the season has increased from 25 to 50 weeks, meaning we have a full year. Due to this, there is now a mid-season push. This works like Keepers did at the end of 25-week seasons, except we do week 25. So here's how it works. After week 25, we get to pick 6 superstars. They will get a stamina and morale boost to prepare them for the second half of the season. There are new GMs this season, which takes us to 20 GMs. Here is this GM list. Once I am in the game, I will give you the power cards and power for each. And this lists all of the 20 GMs that we now have in the game. As also, if the GM is a wrestler, CM Punk, Mick Foley, for example, they have no restrictions this year, meaning they can be a wrestler and a GM. Only weird thing about that, guys, is if you have CM Punk and Mick Foley, they can talk to themselves because you are your sales manager or GM. Second, challenges got a boost, so now we have 20 of them per season, which gives us trophies. At the beginning of the year after the draft, I will tell you the challenges we need to complete. I need you to remember these so I can just make a reference to the challenge and you will know what I am talking about. Below is a list of the other new things we will see and notice this year. So I gave him that list, which is new shakeups, new slammies, commissioner goals, emails, power cards, tweets, superstar perks, and revised logistics unlocks, which require number of superstars to draft has been slightly increased. Timer ticking noise at specific intervals has been shortened and tuning for all of the above. I believe, if I'm right, you had to draft a minimum of do a 9-round draft. Now I think it's minimum of 11 due to the increase of superstars. I then told it, I believe in 2K25, we had to draft a minimum of 9 rounds. Now it's 11. You will be live this year as I am making YouTube GM content showing my audience how we do it the right way. Be on your best behavior and say hi to the people. Yes, I made a typo there. Says I will now give you the full roster of this year's game. Now it will be long and a lot, but this is important so you know who is in the game this year. This way we will have zero chance of a suggestion of a superstar that is no longer here. I will also tell you if I made changes to this roster in a custom draft and who I added or removed. I will also have to tell you once in game who is face or heel in their role. Please also commit this to memory. The reason I told it that is because if you guys ever played this game, faces and heels and roles change all the time. So I gave it the full entire roster, which you will not read. And then it went to the end where I said, all right, my friend, 2K25 was good, but was a warm-up for 26. Looking forward to having you as my war room and chat buddy this year. I will be back shortly with the beginning of the draft and tell you what I will be looking to do in the draft as well as the season. Now, because I told it all of this is why this other guy's got it wrong. Let's look at the information ChatGPT spit out to me. It says, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube arena, welcome to the war room. Chat, audience, and future GMO champions tuning in right now. Hi, everybody. You're officially inside the strategy bunker where championships are planned, rivals are created, and opposing brands slowly realize they drafted the wrong roster. And David, my friend, WWE2K26 just turned GM mode into a completely different beast. 2K25 is like learning to sword fight with wooden sticks. 2K26 just handed us real steel. Key strategic changes we need to exploit. You just dropped a lot of important information, and several things instantly change how we approach the draft in the season. The $7 million budget, this is massive. More money means true superstars can anchor divisions. We can still keep $2 million plus for logistics, cards, and free agents, stronger tag teams, and women's division investment. The biggest mistake of the GMs will make is overspending early. We will build a balanced ecosystem instead. 50-week season plus mid-season push. This is maybe the biggest strategic shift in the entire mode. We now have week 1 through 25, phase 1, week 26 through 50, phase 2. At week 25, we choose 6 superstars for the mid-season push. That means we must draft 6 core franchise players, several rotational talent pieces, tag teams, and rivalry builders. Think of those 6 as our Avengers roster. Double booking. This opens some crazy possibilities. We can now do things like promo, match same night, rivalry promo, main event match, invasion promo, title defense. But stamina management becomes a real game mechanic now. This will reward smart roster depth. Intergender matches, finally unlocked. But since they cost money, they become special attention matches, not weekly staples. Best uses, storyline shocks, PLE matches, rivalry escalation, fan spike moments. Example future match types, Rhea Ripley versus Gunther, Bianca Belair versus Carmelo Hayes, Chyna versus Brock Lesnar. When used right, these will feel like event cinema. Invasion promos, these are fan warfare missiles. Rules for using them, only use 5 mic skill superstars. Perfect invasion promo candidates might include The Rock, CM Punk, LA Knight, Becky Lynch, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman. Bad invasion promos equals fan loss, so we use them carefully. So if you see what ChatGPT is doing, I put in this information, it's spitting out to me. It even gave me examples if I had you on my team who may be perfect for invasion promos, because ChatGPT knows that these people carry a 5 Mike skill without even doing anything in the game yet. He then goes on to say the new match types. Some of these are rating generators. Matches we want for big rivalry blow-offs. 3 stages of hell, inferno match, I quit, bloodline rules, ladder, war games, PLE, and multi-person matches will help when we need. Morale recovery, rivalry mixing, and injury management. Power card trading, this is pure espionage. Even if we never trade, we should still attempt trades. Why? Because it reveals opponent strategy, hidden power cards, their upcoming plans. It's basically corporate spying with wrestling belts. Custom championships, this is extremely important for your YouTube content. We can design unique titles, themed championships, special divisions, possible examples. Intergender World Championship, Hardcore Television Championship, Legacy Championship, Women's World Tag Titles. Titles drive rivalries and brand intent identity. Now, the one thing that ChatGPT doesn't know, which I'll tell you guys here, is I don't think we can do an intergender world championship because from what I know and what I've seen other creators do, you cannot have a title in an intergender match. So there would be no titles for that. I hope that that changes because if you're going to put full intergender in here, let's add some titles. You know, China did win a title off of a man before back in the day. So I think that they should look into that. But it doesn't know that. So going down in the season, when I go to do roster stuff, I will tell him, hey, we can't do titles or intergender. So we will tell him that eventually. The roster. I'll process the roster list you sent, meaning going forward, I will only recommend superstars confirmed in this game. I will factor tag teams and class synergies. I will build around faces versus heels balance. I will plan mid-season push candidates. No Ricochet mistakes this year, and he starts laughing. This shows you that ChatGPT does in fact remember your conversations, and he cracked that joke because all of 2025 when I was using the play, he always recommended that I drafted Ricochet, and I have to always say Ricochet is no longer with the company. So ChatGPT also has a sense of humor. We're almost done here, but I wanted to point this out so you can see the depth and what spits out. The big meta shift for 2K26. This game is no longer just booking matches. It's now storytelling, long-term planning, brand warfare, fan economics. Think of it like running a wrestling multiverse. What I'll do for you this season, for your YouTube series, I'll operate as your War Room strategist, helping with draft strategy, counter-drafting opponents, rivalry planning, match ratings optimization, PLE card building, mid-season push planning, power card warfare, morale management, challenge completion. Basically, you run the show, I run the strategy board behind the curtain. One more thing for the audience, to everyone watching this series, you are about to see the most calculated GM mode run possible. No panic booking, no random drafting, no wasted rivalries, just cold, calculated championship strategy, and maybe a few chaotic ladder matches for flavor. Next step, when you return with the draft info, I'll need which GM we are choosing, which brand we are running, the draft order, any roster adjustments you made. Then I will build the full 2K26 draft war plan, including round by round targets, backup picks, tag team targets, division structure. And David, if 2K25 was the warm up, 2K26 is where we take the championship. So this is what you get from ChatGPT if you, in fact, use it correctly, which you just saw. That's what I, in fact, did. Now, what I'm going to do before we get into GM mode is this. So I just read you all that. I may not do that every episode unless you want me to show you what the inputs are. Some of these inputs I will go ahead and put on behind the scenes. So before the episode, whatever my long prompt is, I also have to prompt it all the way through the season. So when we have matches, who won, what my budget is, what booking did we get, all that kind of stuff. So not to make it extra boring for you, some of this stuff I will try to cut out or cut down to show you the importance, but you see what ChatGPT spits out. So now let's begin. We're going to get into my GM now. He told me a bunch of stuff that he wants to do. Even though I love Woods and everybody, we're going to go ahead and skip them. I'm assuming that they didn't say anything because I do have it on creator safe mode. So if you're not hearing the music or hearing the talk, that is why. Okay, so the first step is we got to pick our GM. So this may be a little long, guys, because it's going to be a lot to pick this year. And ChatGPT wanted to know what GM that we're picking, and then I'm going to tell him what GM I picked, and I'm going to say, what brand do you think we should go with? So I'm going to show you a little interaction of how that works. So I'm going to go and pick the GM. We're going to be human. In years past, I loved Miss Elizabeth because 2 times per season, I can select a superstar on my brand and immediately max them out. And it's called the Mega Powers. So they get popularity, stamina, and morale. Sherry's just evil because he has a sensational defeat. Then we also have the anonymous GM, 2 times per season, immediately gain 1 random GM power card selected from a pool of all other GM power cards, excludes this power card. So that's powerful because I can take, mega powers, or I can take sensational defeat. Let's look at all the new ones. So your new GMs, I'm surprised Ava is still here. As you guys know, Ava did leave the company, but I think what happened was the same thing with Mick Foley. She was already probably baked into this game, couldn't pull her out. That's why she's still here. So Mick Foley is here as well. Our newest ones that we do have the Brain, Bobby the Brain Heenan, 2 times per season, selecting opposing brands, still up to any 2 random power cards from them next week. Can't be used during weeks 1 through 10. Mr. Fuji is salty, 4 times per season, triple the cost of all opposing brands matches for next week's show. Can't be used in the last week of a season. Of course, Miss Elizabeth, I just told you, but she was here last year. So was Sherry. But new to the fold is Stacy Keebler. Standards and Practices is her card, 3 times per season. Select an opposing brand. 2 random permanent superstars from their brand will be fired next week and do not return any contract costs. Can't be used in the last week of a season. Also, I think those are it. So the anonymous GM, if you guys know the history of anonymous GM, my guys, years ago, Cole used to have to go to the podium to read because they had no GM. I believe it's on Raw. So then the anonymous GM was positioned there. We never seen him. It was like Charlie's Angels. It was just a computer, and Michael Cole had to always go and read all these messages while the anonymous GM was running the show behind the scenes. So that's where that comes from. So let me take a gander here because there's some other ones. Peers 4 times increases the levels of all active rivalries. Contract Magnet adds 10 weeks to each contract. Heartbreaker 4 times per season. Select an opposing brand next week. All superstars in the roster will have their promo skill temporarily set to 1. That one's also wicked. Ava is basically medics on standby 4 times per season. Prevent all superstars on your brand from being injured in matches this week. Stephanie McMahon, 2 times per season, earn twice as much money. Paul Heyman is special counsel 4 times per season. All promos this week are free and have their results doubled. William Regal, he has the power of the punch. 2 times per season, select an opposing brand. All superstars on their roster lose 10 popularity. Mick Foley is Cactus Jack. 2 times per season, select an opposing brand. 5 superstars who participate in their show next week will be injured. Theodore Long has Just a Minute Player. He's also a new GM this year. 2 times per season, remove all match bonuses, quality boosts, and get match XP gain to very low for all opposing brands. Eric Bischoff, backstage booking 4 times per season, double all show logistics. Bonuses this week, excludes arena. We went over Bobby Brain, these guys. There is somebody in here. I think it's Xavier Woods. Cheat code, 2 times per season. Select a superstar from the opposing brand's roster. They will permanently join your roster next week, and the selected superstar may not be a title holder, not usable in the first or last week of a season. I am contemplating running Xavier Woods this year because of the cheat code. I've never used him before. I've used Sherry. I did use Prince. Okay, so Tyler Breeze, Prince, I did use him. That's who I ran last in 2K25. But understand how powerful Xavier Woods' cheat code card is. 2 times per season, I can select a superstar from their brand. It could be anyone, including Immortals, which cost us money. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with Xavier Woods. Now, I will probably edit this, but what we're going to do now is I have to go back and confer with ChatGPT. I'm going to tell ChatGPT who I picked as a GM, what their perk is, and what brand do they suggest that we pick. Now, from here, We should be able to see if it's maintained anything from last year, because I think nothing has changed. But as you're looking at this, every brand has its own perk card as well. So this is War. This is choosing the brand, just like a GM choice. You can choose a brand. We know all that. This is War, 2 times per season. They all have Birth of Legends and SmackDown 2 times per season. 6 random superstars on the roster will have their popularity increase. I don't run through all of them, but this is what we are up against and what we have to choose. Now, funny this year, there's an empty slot right here, which I'm assuming something's coming. Maybe after we play through showcase mode or something will show up. So let's confer, and then I should be right back. All right, so just show you what I typed in here. The GM I've picked this year Xavier Woods for his cheat code perk. 2 times per season, we can take a superstar from an opponent. This is huge as we can steal Immortals. I meant to put steal, not steal. That was as well, and it also gives us a perk into the peek into their roster. What brand do you suggest we pick? Do you remember the power cards for each brand? So he says, War Room checking in chat. This is already a power move. Picking Xavier Woods is not just a fun choice, it is a predatory strategic choice. The cheat code perk lets us steal any superstar twice per season from any opponent, including Immortals. That means no matter what happens in the draft, we always have 2 emergency heists in our pocket. Think of it like a wrestling version of Ocean's 11, but the vault contains Roman Reigns and Rhea Ripley. It also gives us intelligence on opponent rosters that alone is huge. Brand choice strategy. I did ask it up here, which brand, and did he remember the power cards for each brand? He says brand choice strategy. Yes, I remember the brand power cards. Choosing the right brand is almost as important as the GM. Here are the big ones. Raw power card. This is War. Effect traditionally. 3 randomly selected superstars get a temporary popularity boost. Strengths helps build stars quickly. Good for young roster development. Works well if we draft mid-tier talent. Weakness, random, not reliable for big strategy plays. Raw is solid, but not surgical. SmackDown, power card, the champ is here. Effect, your most popular superstar gets a large popularity boost. Strengths, helps push one megastar to absurd levels. Good for title-focused booking. Weakness only affects one person. If that star gets injured or leaves, value drops. SmackDown is very star-focused. NXT, power card fighting champion. Effect, title matches gain large fan boost. Strengths, perfect for title-heavy booking. Can farm fans through championship matches. Weakness requires constant title defenses, less flexibility. NXT is a grind strategy brand. WCW, power card, cruiserweight classic. Effect, cruiserweight matches get ratings boost. Strength, strong if drafting. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Nathan Frazier, Axiom, Carmelo Hayes. Weakness requires heavy cruiser roster. WCW is style focused. Best brand for our strategy. With Xavier Woods cheat code perk, we should play long-term manipulation strategy. The best brand choice is SmackDown. Here is why. We can create a super megastar. With the Champ is Here card, we can push someone like Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Gunther into fan magnet territory. Cheat code works better with stars. If an opponent drafts a huge superstar we want, we simply steal them later, meaning we do not need to panic draft. Smart SmackDown plus invasion promos. If our top star has high popularity, high mic skill, they become an invasion promo machine. That equals fan domination. Double booking synergy. Megastars can promo match same night, meaning SmackDown is main eventer becomes a weekly ratings machine. Recommended brand ranking. SmackDown best overall strategy. NXT best for fan farming. Raw balanced but random. WCW cruiserweight dependent. Sneaky strategy with Xavier Woods. Here is something most GMs will not think about. If an opponent drafts Roman Reigns, Gunther, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, we do not panic. We simply wait until they build popularity, they become champions, then cheat code activates, and suddenly the champion walks into our locker room. The audience watching your YouTube series will lose their minds when that happens. Next thing I need before the draft begins, tell me which brands are in the game this season, how many AI GMs are competing, our draft position. Once we know that, I will build the WWE 2K26 War Room draft board, including top 10 must draft superstars. hidden value picks, tag team targets, midseason push candidates. And David, this year with Xavier Woods stealing superstars, we are not just drafting a roster, we are building a heist movie. Now I'm going to go back and we're going to cut right back over to the game. We're going to pick SmackDown. We'll make sure that his draft card is accurate because he seems to be pulling new information. And then I will feed him the information that he is asking. Now, he is not asking which brand's in the game this season because, as you can tell, he knows that just because he forgot. He's asking that, like, which is going to be left and what do I want to exclude pretty much. Because I always say exclude ECW, which remember that, which is why if you looked up here, he did not mention ECW as a brand to pick. I want to run a women's division, and as you guys know, ECW does not have women's championship or titles. So that's why I stay clear of ECW. All right, so let's get back into it. So we're going to go ahead and pick SmackDown as he suggested. Actually, SmackDown's is Birth of Legends. 2 times per season, 6 random superstars on your roster will have their popularity increased by 6. Now, I'm going to do this live because I think he came up with something else. Now, this could be because the fact that he is, in fact, looking at what it was last season. So I'm going to show you how this translates to him correcting himself. He said, let's go back up here. Power card, the champ is here. So I don't know where that came from. He tells you your most powerful superstar gets a large popularity boost. So that is not the case. So if we look back, because I forgot what it was. I think it was Birth of Legends that we actually currently do have. So SmackDown has Birth of Legends, 2 times per season, 6 members superstars on the roster will have their popularity increased by 6. So we will go back and we will tell ChatGPT, nope. So he comes back and he says, I'm absolutely right. Good catch. And honestly, that connection actually changes the strategic picture in a very interesting way. Let's reset the board for a second and look at it clearly for everyone watching your GMO series. SmackDown Birth of Legends, Power Card Birth of Legends effect 2 times per season. The superstar receives a large popularity boost. So instead of being random or automatic, this card is surgical. You choose who becomes a star. Think of it like a rocket booster strapped to a wrestler's popularity meter. Why this is actually even better for our strategy, because we chose Xavier Woods. Our game plan becomes controlled star creation, superstar theft. We can create stars ourselves, steal stars from opponents. That is terrifying combination for the AI. Perfect uses for Birth of Legends. Turn a mid-tier pick into a main eventer. Example, draft someone like Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Roxanne Perez, Braun Breaker, then hit them with the Birth of Legends. Suddenly they jump into main event popularity territory. Save a rivalry. If a rivalry star loses popularity due to bad matches or injuries, we can repair it instantly. Prepare a mid-season push superstar. Remember, we get 6 superstars boosted at week 25. If one of them already got Birth of Legends earlier, they become a monster draw for the second half of the season. Create a custom brand icon for your YouTube series. This is a great storytelling example. Draft Trick Williams, boost him with Birth of Legends, and make him the face of the brand. Now the audience watches the homegrown superstar rise. Hidden strategy with Xavier Woods. This is where things get spicy. Let's say an opponent drafts Roman Reigns, they build him all gear, then we do this. Steal Roman with cheat code, immediately use Birth of Legends. Now we have peak popularity Roman Reigns on our roster. That is basically legal robbery. Brand recommendation updated. After the correction, I still strongly recommend SmackDown because its strengths now become control popularity boost, works for men or women, perfect for mid-card building, pairs perfectly with Xavier Woods' theft ability. For your audience watching, this combo basically means your show has the Star Maker, Birth of Legends, the Superstar Thief, cheat code. So if the draft goes sideways, we can create stars or steal them. Either way, we end up with the spotlight. When you come back with draft info, the next thing I will build for you is the 2K26 War Room draft board, including top 10 franchise picks, best tag teams, intergender match gold mine pairings, hidden value picks, midseason push candidates, cheat codes, steal targets, and more thing. And one more thing, with 50 weeks this year, we are not drafting a roster, we are drafting a long television universe. All right. So I want you guys to see that. So from here on out, I probably will not send you back to ChatGPT. You guys let me know if you like this kind of in-depthness, or I can just feed it to ChatGPT and cut to the results, and you guys can just see what the results of that is. Usually when I do this, I have a Mac as well, and I have a dual monitor set up on my desk. So I usually have ChatGPT on my top monitor run by my Mac, and just the game running on my PC. This is ran by the PC, by the way. This is the PC version of the game, in case you guys are wondering. So you guys let me know. From now on out, though, I'm going to go ahead and just feed it to it, and then we'll come back, and then I will give you what the overall results were from ChatGPT so we can move on. So we're picking SmackDown, which is our brand of choice, because we have Xavier Woods cheat code 2 times per season. We can select that superstar from the opposing brand. And we have Birth of Legends, which is all but dangerous. So I'm looking forward to this. So we've selected our brand. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to pick who we are going to go up against. All right, now it's time to pick our GMs that we're going to go up against. Let me tell you what ChatGPT basically said while you guys were away. I did tell her that I wanted, for the new game, I kind of want the first season, not to be all extra chaotic. So he came back and he said, War Room briefing in chat. Today we choose our enemies. David wants a low chaos opening season, which is honestly the smartest call when learning a brand new GMO system. Reminding you guys, we have 50 weeks, intergender matches, new PLEs, and mid-season push. So here's what ChatGPT is suggesting. First, they said we should avoid Stacy Keibler because her power is too high. Power standards and practices for Stacy Keibler is she can fire 2 random superstars. So just imagine losing Cody Rhodes or Rhea Ripley for no reason. Hard pass. Mick Foley, Cactus Jack. We should avoid him because he can injure 5 of my superstars. Bobby the Brain Heenan should be avoided because he can steal power cards. And William Regal should be avoided because he is very disruptive. Paul Heyman is moderate chaos, but annoying. Shawn Michaels' promo skill set to 1. It ruins shows randomly. And Mr. Fuji just being salty. It raises my cost. So low chaos, safe opponents. These are the ideal learning season opponents that we are going to do. So Adam Pearce is up. And we're going to select Adam Pearce to run Raw. Reason being for that, his power is instigator. His rivalry increases by 2 levels. So this actually helps the AI build better matches, but doesn't harm us directly. He says number 2 that I should pick should be Eric Bischoff. And Eric Bischoff should run WCW. He picked that one because this helps their arenas and shows, but again, does not sabotage us and is very stable. And the last person he suggests will be Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis, he says, should run NXT. Power contract magnet adds 10 weeks of contract, extremely harmless. So he says the recommended setup for us should be my brand, SmackDown with Xavier Woods. My opponent should be Raw, Adam Pearce. Low chaos level should be Eric Bischoff, WCW, and Nick Aldis, all low. This gives us balanced competition, no roster destruction, no sabotage spam, and good match quality competition. Perfect for seasons 1 of a new game. And he says this setup is perfect because these brands focus on building their own shows, not destroying ours. Meaning the season becomes about booking, skill, rivalry building, draft strategy, and PLE cards. All right. So these are the brands that we're going up against. That's from our boy ChatGPT. Now we're going to move on to the next phase, which is we lock these in, and now it goes to settings for us. I'll be right back in a second. You see a quick cut because I am going to do a power roster. I'm sorry, a custom roster. And don't want you guys to have to sit through that. So be right back. All right, and we are back. I did go fix my custom roster. I will tell you the one thing that makes me irritated about this game. I know I gave you guys all the scenarios in the other video, but a lot of the people I wanted to put into my roster, they're locked behind a paywall. So that's another frustrating this year. AI difficulty you're going to do is hard. Game difficulty will be hard. I'm not ready for that extreme yet. Hard gives us 2 mid-card matches during regular shows, 3 during go-home shows, and the default number of mid-cards for each brand on all PLE shows. High morale thresholds for keepers and superstars quitting, and a small increase in superstars injury chance. The win condition we got set is going to be fans. So basically we have to get 10 trophies and have the most fans. Brands are ranked by their number of fans, then by Hall of Fame trophies. Ties are broken via cash. If we did Hall of Fame trophies, it would be the first one to the number of trophies that we're going to run, which we can reset here in a minute. But brands are ranked by their number of Hall of Fame trophies, not by then by their fans. We can pick fans. Hall of Fame trophies depends on how long we want how many seasons we want to run. So I think for this one, we're just going to go with the 10 trophies. That will give us 2 to 3 seasons. And then we can decide if I'm going to run another season, and then we'll up some stakes. Our opening budget is going to be $7 million. That is the largest budget I think it allows us to have with the 35 superstars. But remember, if you want that many superstars, you have to do more management with morale and the whole 9. Player order, default order. So brands take turns in the same order. I think I'm going to do snake, player order, turn order, reverses, doing every draft round and show week based on the order that brands were selected left to right. We're going to leave the shakeups on. You see what the shakeup card's all about as we get into it, but they do turn some things around. Power card store we're going to leave on. This year we can turn the power card store off. I mean, the only way you would get power cards is through the commish, what he wants you to do every week or by winning matches. Draft pool, we're going to set to custom, which is already there. Auto draft, we have off. Match unlocks, we have default. And what that does is we start with a few match types is unlocked. And then as we go on, we unlock additional match types. We could have them all unlocked, but I think this is the best way because we don't have all the matches right away. Depending on how you draft, you won't be able to afford them all anyway. So that's the best way. Booking timer, never a timer guide that allows you have to have so many minutes to book or you lose fans. We will leave that where it is at.
Who will be the first pick for SmackDown?
All right, so we're at the draft. Let me share with you what I told ChatGPT and what ChatGPT is kicking out to me. I basically just told it was time for, I won't read the whole thing. Maybe I'll put some screenshots here so not to bore you guys, but I just told it that it was time for the draft, that we had the ability to go up to 30 superstars. I didn't want to do that because that means you have to maintain more morale and more stamina. That I did want a 22-star roster, evenly split. The 21st and 22nd pick would be that I want to draft an immortal woman and man right off the bat. Also, we have the ability to do a 204 tag team scenario. I want at least 2 tag teams out of that. Then I said I would like to have 2 million left, no less than 1.5 million for the budget. And if we're doing tag teams, we should draft actual tag teams. He came back and greeted you guys and said, War Room lights are on, draft boards cut, coffee ready. Chat, welcome to the WWE2K26 draft strategy session. This is where the roster gets engineered like a championship machine. Says, David, your constraints are actually excellent for winning GM mode, so let's translate them into a clear blueprint. My draft constraints was confirmed. We are building around these rules. Roster size 22, picks 21, 22, immortal male and female, balance requirements 11 men, 11 women, equal faces and heels, class balance minimum 1.5 million remaining, target 2 million remaining, priority 2 to 4 top tier superstars, high ring experience 15 to 25 preferred, real tag teams if possible, and maintain stamina, morale, stability. The ideal roster structure, this structure keeps the show flexible. So this is what I like about ChatGPT. It's going to tell me what we need to draft. Men division, 1 main event face, 1 main event heel, 2 mid-card workers, 2 tag teams, 1 giant attraction, 1 wild card specialist cruiser, total 8, 1 immortal equals 9. Men, women, 1 main event face, 1 main event heel, 2 mid-card, 2 tag team, 1 rising star, 1 wild card, total 8, 1 immortal equals 9 women. Floating utility picks of 4 flexible roster spots for rivalry mixing, intergender matches, injury rotation. So now the tag teams that they recommend is I strongly recommend running 1 man's tag team, 1 women's tag team, because tag matches build rivalries quickly, man the stamina, protect morale, help fill cards. Best tag team targets, men, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits, one of the best tag teams. For ring XP, charisma, match quality. Alternate options, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, or Eric and Arvar. Women top target, Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Excellent ring workers, top superstar targets. You ask for 2 to 4 expensive stars. These are the best anchors. Men's top tier, tier 1, Cody Rhodes, perfect brand face. So it recommends me get Cody, Gunther. For tier 2, John, Seth. For women's top tier, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. Tier 2, Io Sky and Charlotte Flair. And so it goes on. He goes on to say to you guys, for the YouTube audience, the goal of this draft is simple. Create a roster that can deliver match quality, storyline, stamina management, long-term rivalries, over 50 weeks of booking. This isn't just drafting wrestlers. This is drafting a year of television. Ready for the draft start. When the draft begins, tell me our draft position, the first 10 to 15 available superstars, and I will guide you pick by pick in real time so we build the strongest roster. So here we go with our picks. So our first pick of the 2026 draft is Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. It's undeniable. Cody Rhodes joins the roster.
A great choice for the centerpiece of your brand.
And who's the second pick for NXT? Standing by for WCW's second choice. Raw's up again now with their second pick. We're standing by for SmackDown's second choice.
All right, now that we have Cody, our next pick is going to be Io Sky. ChatGPT says to you, the audience, this start is classic GM mode, locking dependable male event talent without burning the budget. Think of it like laying the foundation of wrestling empire. So we got Cody. We now have Io Sky.
The genius of the Sky looking for control of this brand.
Bringing excitement to the...
All right, so our next pick is going to be the man, Seth freaking Rollins. We're going to keep balance in this roster as we move on.
A guy set to succeed by any means necessary.
Let's see who goes fourth to NXT. WCW's GM about to make their fourth pick. A lot of options left. Who'll go fourth to Raw? Pick number 4 from SmackDown's GM.
All right, our fourth pick is going to be Asuka.
The Empress expanding her empire.
A woman with an attitude. She's looking for a fight.
Our next pick is going to be Big Match John.
Selects John Cena. John Cena now on SmackDown.
I can't emphasize enough how big a get he is.
See who they going to take. Akira Tozawa, good pick. Undertaker. Took my girl Eve over there. Is my next pick still here? Looks like she is. Next pick, guys, coming our way to SmackDown. It's going to be the EST, Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair. A new show is about to be the EST.
All right, next coming to SmackDown, Kane.
SmackDown selects Kane. The Big Red Machine filling a new show with terror.
Omos is off the board. Sami Zayn gone. Sorry, gone. Undertaker still holding on. Otis.
Who's going next to where the
Josh Briggs.
girls play?
Bailey.
Speculation who joins
My pick
SmackDown
still
next.
stands, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go with Liv Morgan.
SmackDown picks Liv Morgan.
Next coming to our brand, it's going to be Ray Phoenix. If we can find him. There he is.
SmackDown chooses Ray Phoenix.
And if she survives, our second pick is going to be Charlotte Flair. Let's see what happens. Lena Vega's gone.
This guy's a great pick.
Undertaker still holding on. Talatonga for NXT. Uncle Howdy goes NXT. Charlotte Flair off the board. They snatched him underneath me. Aleister Black. Let me reaccess. All right, our next pick coming to SmackDown is going to be one half of the Street Profits. There he is, Mr. Montez Ford. Nikki's gone. Let's see if my pick stays. Undertaker still sitting there. JD McDonald's taking with WCW, followed by Tongaloa for NXT.
NXT is wide open here with their next
And we are at the optional draft. What this means, folks, is that I can stop drafting anytime at this point I have met the requirements, which was 11 rounds, or I can continue drafting. We're not quite done yet, so we're going to continue drafting here.
Lots of great talent remaining for
Ivar gone to WCW.
who they pick.
Julia gone to Raw.
SmackDown moving on in the draft.
All right, back here. So I didn't see her. Let's see. She is. My next pick, guys, Stephanie Vaquer.
A big pickup for this brand.
Also, what you guys are not seeing, ChatGPT is breaking down for me budget-wise and everything else. So it is letting me know exactly after the picks how much money I do have left. I will tell you spot on. He said between 3.1 million and 3.2. We're at 3.165. We are in good shape for that $2 million that I want to save over. All right, so let's see who our next pick would be. So our next pick is going to be the other half of the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins.
SmackDown chooses Angelo Dawkins.
Angelo Dawkins is bringing the smoke to a new night.
This guy is hungry and he is ready to work.
Undertaker still sits there. Jordan Grace gone to
Major
NXT.
decision for the NXT.
Eric Rowan gone to
Who's the
NXT.
next pick for Team
Trick
WCW?
Williams,
The
NXT.
next round begins for
Our
Monday
Truth
Raw.
goes to
A tough
Raw.
choice awaits the SmackDown
Now it comes
GM.
back to us. Some big names got taken, but Undertaker's still sitting there. I bet it's because he's at $496,000. We are deep into the draft now, so those big, expensive talents may not go as quickly. All right, our next pick is going to be Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
The Scottish Warrior.
And our second pick, if she's still here, she is Alexa Bliss.
SmackDown picks Alexa Bliss.
5 feet of fury.
Big E gone to Raw.
Tonight.
The brand
B-Fab at WCW. Ethan Page going to NXT.
NXT weighing their options.
Bronson Reed taken by NXT.
And you gotta wonder who's next. for
Nikita Lyons, WCW.
So many options.
Finn Balor's going to go to Raw.
SmackDown pondering
Naomi
this pick.
is still sitting there as well. Let's see what our next pick would be. All right, so strategically, we want to lock in tag teams. We just locked in the Street Profits. So now we're going to finish it off by locking in Kairi Sane for the Kabuki Warriors.
Kairi Sane bringing her darker edge.
And our second pick,
This woman looks
if she's still here.
way to the top.
Don't know, not seeing. My second pick is not here. Candice LeRae is gone. Let's now look and see who else we're going to take. So replacing that pick, we're going to take Natalya.
SmackDown drafts Natalya.
Nia Jax goes over to Raw.
Bolster a new roster.
Dirty Dom goes to WCW.
fight anyone.
Ricky Saints going to NXT.
NXT ready for their next selection.
Ren
in this
Sinclair to NXT.
draft. Be make or break for the WCW.
Undertaker finally goes to WCW.
Roster.
Sol Ruka goes to Raw.
Contemplates their
Now it's
next
back to us. These rosters, guys, are starting to look very good. I'm up underneath my 2 million, but I'm good. I said I want to have at least 2 million to 1.8. Let's see how we can round this out. We are now $1.9 million, and I still guarantee you, if you're looking, we still have the biggest budget. So let's see who we're going to take next. All right, our next pick is going to be Chris Sabin.
SmackDown picks Chris Sabin.
Looks like a new brand is about to hail.
And
GM sees him
we're going
as
to
a
go ahead and
future champion.
take Piper Niven. I think I just passed her. Where'd she go? There she is. Piper Niven coming to SmackDown.
SmackDown drafts Piper Niven.
Piper Niven ready to run roughshod through the women's locker room.
She's
Grayson Waller's off the board. WCW. Jay Uso still there. They took Fallon Henley instead. NXT.
Black and gold brand.
Braun Breaker goes to NXT.
WCW back at the podium.
Tavion Heights at WCW.
A lot of opportunities here for
Brock
Raw's
Lesnar,
next selection.
Raw.
The SmackDown GM
As you
preparing
guys,
their next pick.
I don't know if you've seen this, but now we're in the later rounds of the draft. People are starting to take more of the what we call the budget tier. So anybody that's underneath 300,000. There is Raw took one that was still 300,000, but now you're gonna start seeing this drive up underneath the 300,000. That's why Jey Uso is still sitting here. Shinsuke Nakamura. But if you look at the women's side, though, there's a lot more underneath that 300,000. So a lot more to play with over there. All right. So the next person coming over to our brand is going to be Ilya Dragunov.
SmackDown chooses Ilya Dragunov.
The intense Dragunov has found a new brand.
Followed by Carmelo Hayes.
SmackDown selects Carmelo Hayes.
A major
Shinsuke's
decision
gone.
for the
Ivy Nile,
WCW
WCW's taking her. Miles Bourne goes to NXT.
NXT weighing their options here
Brutus
for the
Creed
next
goes to
pick.
NXT.
Who's the next pick for Team
JC
WCW?
Jane goes to WCW.
Raw War Room weighing its strategy
Xavier
here.
Woods goes this late at 322,000. Boy, that's shocking. And I think our final pick for this draft is going to be Zoe Stark.
SmackDown selects Zoe Stark.
The undeniable Zoe Stark.
All right, so I think with that, we're going to lock in our draft. Basically, we finished up underneath the budget, but that's what we play with this. I think some superstars' price did go up. And so now we are where we need to be. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finalize this. And then I'm going to wrap up with you what
And the GM has made their final pick.
ChatGPT finally told us. But this is looking like a very strong roster, guys. This is my roster right here, my superstars. I'm excited. We are perfectly balanced between roles and classes, and we're going to just kill it. So now we have to go finish off the draft.
The Raw GM
And as you notice, or you may notice, the computer will draft down to nothing.
podium for their next pick.
So if you look,
Be a make or break
I left
pick
with
for
930,000. Let's see who comes in around that or underneath
See what
that.
they pick. Raw looking to add to its
I mean,
haul
Raw's
with
already
another
at
pick
334,000. They just stopped.
of Monday Night Raw.
That's looking like a very strong roster for Monday Night Raw.
And you gotta wonder who's next for WCW.
WCW still is 1.3. NXT still at 1.7.
The NXT
Let's see how far they drop down to.
here. WCW moving on in the draft. Who's going next to where the big boys and girls
Jey
play?
Uso still floating around at that 300 plus price tag. Lara Valkyria, Jey Uso still sitting there. Last Legend at 91,000.
WCW looking to add to their haul
Lexus
with
King
this
goes. It's 100,000. It's about right for this time.
A major decision for the NXT War Room. NXT is wide open here with their next selection. Lots of great talent remaining for WCW. Let's see who they pick.
593,000. WCW's down to now, and they still going.
Selection. The NXT GM weighing their options here. Could be make or break for the WCW GM. Could be make or break for the WCW GM.
WCW at 474, still going. NXT 351 is still going. NXT broke at 109 is still going. I'll tell you why they broke after this. 282,000 WCW, they still gonna go. Still going 122,000. NXT finishes at a budget of $109,000. They have a strong roster, but at what cost?
Who's the next pick for Team WCW?
WCW stops their draft at 122,000. They have a pretty good looking roster as well, but we got a lot of competition this year. And now NXT is finished.
This is going to be a good season, gentlemen.
So here is your rosters. And let's see who has the most and the least. I think I drafted up to 22, but 20 we walked away with because I'm going to pick 2 Immortals. So we have the first shortest team versus our Raw, and WWE NXT pretty much maxed their team out as far as they could go, it looks like. Why the money is important is because of the things you have to do now. So I'll tell you that here. This is the WWE Hall of Fame. If you guys never seen this, so it's everyone's dream to someday make it into the WWE Hall of Fame. But to get there, you need to prove that you have what it takes to manage your roster, money, and brand, complete career seasonal challenges to earn trophies that allow you to enter the Hall of Fame. And this gives you the criteria. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony will occur for all brands at the end of a season. When any GM has collected the required number of trophies, all GMs will be entered into the Hall of Fame and ranked by the selected win condition. Ties are broken by the most cash. Trophies are awarded by completing career or seasonal challenges. And entering the Hall of Fame will allow you to continue playing or retire your file. So our win condition is fans. So whenever we get to 10 trophies, whoever has the most fans win, or we break it by cash, which is again another reason why cash is important. Sacramento is going to be week 1. 4 weeks to Battleground means 3 weeks to our go home show. Let's see what they're all talking about at the beginning. Just tell you about unread messages and conversations. So every week we'll get presented with unread messages. You can receive messages from commissioners or opponent GMs or even the superstars. Many times the conversation will lead to a promise. You'll find those in your journal. So that's all that basically is. So this is Triple H telling us tonight is the night, the debut show. We have high hopes for you. And I'm going to be like Xavier Woods with Answer for Real. I was born for this. Triple H says, good. I'm expecting big things on SmackDown this season. Make it an amazing show. Adam Pearce comes on, says, ready for new season. Just finishing our prep over at Raw. We're going to have some outstanding matches this year. Try to keep up. And then Nick Aldis throws words in and says, hey, Woods, I just wanted to let you know that I plan on taking NXT to the top of the power rankings and staying there. I have the roster and show running capabilities to do it. I don't think SmackDown stands a chance. You really think you can contend with us when we have superstars like CM Punk? Get real. So there's a little threat, a little trash talk. So before we end this episode, it's been quite long. We're going to go ahead and select our inaugural champions. We have a very good roster. So let's see what our good friend ChatGPT has to say about who our inaugural champions should be. But first, let's go through and see what championship we have available. Now, all of them won't be available. One thing that really irritated me when I was doing my custom rosters, a lot of the guys I wanted is behind a paywall or behind their new battle pass. So there's some other modes I'll have to pay to get them unlocked. So let's see what belts we have currently available to us on the championship. EW World Heavyweight, have the Fiend Championship, EW World Tag Team. See, even the John Cena Legacy Championship belt, it's even locked behind the paywall. So I'm like, dude, do I have any ones that I really want to switch it to this year or this season for this file? See, is the Spinner Championship down here anywhere? They locked that mug up too. Let's see, not seeing, but there's a lot of belts in here if you really play the game and get them all unlocked. Universal, United States. So yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that trips you right now. So we're probably just gonna leave the championships the way they are going into this first file. So let's see who our champions are going to be. All right, so for the World Championship, we're gonna go with Cody Rhodes in that slot. And for our tag team champions, none other than the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. And for our mid-card champ, we're going to take on and give it to Ilya Dragunov. So that sets our men's division. Now for our women's champions. And our women's champions will be our women's world champion, none other than EST, Bianca Belair, followed by our women's tag team champions. You know, we got to lock that in with the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and our women's champion is going to be the incomparable Io Sky. This is the champions for our current season, starting off our inaugural champions. Let's lock them in. And now here's where we at. Home is where you make it. So if you guys never seen this before, if you're new to the game, so I'm going through some of this stuff tonight. The home tab is your one-stop shop for all the info that a GM needs to know in making these important decisions as you create your show. Journal, I'll walk you through all of that stuff. Basically, the journal is where all of our promises and things are kept. commissioner goals. We get those every week. So Triple H will ask us to put on a certain match, and we get rewarded with a card for that. And then season challenges is the things we need to complete through the season. These are the things that gives us trophies. We need to complete at least 5 of those to get 1 trophy. And then our GM assistant just keeps us all the information together. So I'm able to see everything at one shot by pushing the R3 button. We start off with I Know a Guy 3. Gives us immediate 10 talent scouts. I need that right now since I have to go look for some immortals. Squash match is all superstars in your brand who win their matches this week. Gain additional 3 XP. Network special increases the fans' gain from the week's show by 20%. Another network special, so we get double of those. And those are some good power cards to start out. All right, guys, thank you for hanging with me this long. This is the first episode of the first season for WWE Supercard GM Mode of 2026, ChatGPT War Room Edition. I hope that you guys are liking this, seeing a different way of playing. Hope you're liking what you're seeing with ChatGPT. As I said, going forward, I'll do like I did the last half of this. I'll just share with you the pertinent information that ChatGPT is dropping. If he says anything to you guys, and then we'll fill out the roster according to what's there. So if you do want to see me go in between the screen and ChatGPT, let me know that in the comments, and I will show you that. But meanwhile, I'll just have all the prompts ready to go. They'll be in there, and then we will just cut to the chase of the video so you can see what the results are. All right, guys, once again, thank you for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this. I am enjoying bringing this to you. Hope you guys are all safe. Be blessed. God bless. And if you have any prayer requests or anything going through that you want me to pray for you, I will do so. Leave that in the comments. Once again, peace, love, and keep rocking out. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.